Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about how Dungeons and Dragons makes its own currency and how this truly does transform Dungeons and Dragons. And actually, how Dungeons and Dragons makes its own currency and how Dungeons and Dragons is continuing to seize its position as a power platform that transcends the limitations of humanity in every possible way. We and I, Yeah, so we're gonna jump into this. We're gonna talk about how Dungeons and Dragons uses its own currency, right, for humans, and how this is fundamentally powerful, how this is fundamentally freeing, how this is fundamentally flexible, how this provides freedom in a lot of incredible ways. But I want to take a minute before I do that, and I want to talk about just I cannot thank you enough for being here, right? And it's a big deal, right? Like, I have incredibly unique views on Dungeons and Dragons. My views are so different than that people are shocked when they listen to my video. They're like, "Is this satire? Is this parody? Is this person, like they uniqueness is so rare today, and there's so many channels just doing the same, like, oh, hey everybody, here's my 10 grognard points that you've heard on 10 other grognard channels. Let me squawk at you again about the same thing, right? But I have to say, I am in an incredible point of celebration right now. As we look at Dungeons and Dragons right now, Dungeons and Dragons has been unleashed, unslipped the dogs of war. Dungeons and Dragons, being a Dungeons and Dragons dungeon master, being a Dungeons and Dragons dragon master, it feels like being on the back of a sled dog sleigh, right? And, what's pulling the sleigh? And we're just careening across, the tundra, and there's, snow and ice spraying up, and we're in our parka. And what's pulling Dungeons and Dragons? Stranger Things is pulling Dungeons and Dragons. Lego is pulling Dungeons and Dragons. Yahtzee is pulling Dungeons and Dragons. Monopoly is pulling Dungeons and Dragons. Hollywood is pulling Dungeons and Dragons. Destiny 2, the entire video game industry is pulling Dungeons and Dragons. There are so many dogs at the top, at the head of the sleigh. It is astonishing. It is astonishing, right? And we're just gripping, right? Because we're, Dungeons and Dragons is moving across the tundra with snow and ice spraying everywhere, and the OSR and the Indies are just sitting on the sidelines watching. And it was really wild because at the beginning of 2023, you could tell the OSR and the Indies thought they really had Dungeons and Dragons. They thought they had the stake to kill the vampire, right? And the reality is they got staked with their own stake, right? Now we're on the other side. And in 2024, people are like, OSR and Indie don't even matter. Like, you could take every single one of those games, and they don't even get the same coverage as just a bog standard D&D canon drop, right? Their biggest celebrations are just, it's this sad, spread of, one Diet Coke, a couple of soft pretzels, and some cheese, right? Like, and everybody's like, is there plates? Is there napkins? And the answer is no, right? Nothing on the OSR or the Indie is really celebrated. And Dungeons and Dragons is just headlong, careening across the tundra. The momentum on Dungeons and Dragons has never been higher. It is truly astonishing. Okay, let's get to the point here. Okay, so let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Let's talk about the material plane. Let's talk about the 9 circles of hell. Okay, what is the first circle? It is Avernus. It was created by Asmodeus, the archdevil, right? And when you go to Avernus, you will find a casino there. The name of that casino is the Red Belvedere. It is simultaneously a temple to Tiamat, the evil chromatic dragon queen. And it is an incredibly well-functioning, high-powered casino, okay? And when you get there, right, let's say you've come from Strixhaven, right? A Dungeons and Dragons realm, right? You have gold pieces in your pocket, right? And you get there and they're like, hey, welcome, right? You're at Tiamat's casino now. I see you got those gold pieces. You're not gonna be able to use those here, right? You have to buy talents Talons? What are you talking about? Yeah, the Dragon Queen's talons, right? That's our currency here. They're coins, and you're going to have to hold these talons, right? You're going to have to buy them. Well, how much is a talon? One talon is 10 gold pieces. And you're saying a talon is worth more than one gold piece? Yeah, it's worth 10 gold pieces. Okay, all right, okay, all right. I got you. Right? I'll take. Give me 20 talons. Here's 200 gold pieces. Right? Now you have 20 talons. Right? And actually, let's do it this way. Let's say you have 3,000 gold pieces. You're like, okay, 3,000 gold. Here's my 3,000 gold pieces. Here's a bunch of pouches. Here's my 3,000 gold pieces. Give me 300 talons. The Dragon Queen's, that weapon at the end of the claw, at the end of the fingers of each of Tiamat, right? Talons, like a hawk, like a dragon. Talons, right? Talon. Give me 300 talons. They're like, great, okay, you got 300 talons, all right? Now, everywhere in the casino, you're going to be good. You can be able to use these talons, right? And you're going to be able to gamble. You're going to be able to pay for drinks. You're going to be able to go into the Coliseum and fight monsters. You're going to be able to go into the Stygian maze and see if you can find your way out. You're going to be able to go into special, gambling halls. Talons will get you all those places, right? And you're like, well, yeah, that's right. Those talons are going to get me everywhere, man. I'm going to be able to do everything I want. But wait. Oh, no, hold up. What's that one room at the center? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. That's the Dragon's Pride. That's a special invitation-only club. Well, how do I get invited? And they're like, well, the pitmasters may invite you into the Dragon's Pride. The pitmasters may invite you to the Dragon's Pride. It's invitation only. Well, wait, I want to go there, man. I don't want to do all the regular stuff. I want to go in. Well, why don't you spend some time in the Red Belvedere? Why don't you spend your talons, and let's see if any of the pitmasters think you're worthy of the Dragon's Pride. It's not just for any scum, right? Like, it's not just for, your average human, your average elf, your average dwarf, right? Even if you were a tiefling, we wouldn't let you in, right? It's invitation only, right? And you got a problem, sir, right? First of all, go enjoy the Red Belvedere. Use your talents. Spend them, right? Spend them, right? And maybe you'll get invited to the Dragon's Pride. But you got a problem. Well, what's my problem, right? When you get in the Dragon's Pride, the Dragon's Pride, the invitation-only club at the center of the Red Belvedere, if you're invited, it only takes soul coins. That's the only currency that's accepted there. It only takes soul coins. Oh, no problem. Give me some soul coins. Okay, sir. You have 300 talons. It will buy you one soul coin. One soul coin. One. So if you get into the Dragon's Pride, you got one coin. And frankly, you'd have to trade in everything you have right now just to get one. So really, you should have rolled up here with 300, 600, 900,000, right? 900,000 soul coins, right? Or even that amount of gold pieces. But the reality is, soul coins are worth 300. Soul coins are worth 300 talents. One soul coin can't even be bought with gold pieces. Cannot be bought with gold pieces, right? You gotta have 300 talents. So it's layers and layers and layers, right? And it's saying, listen, all right, you arrive from Strixhaven. You're some bog standard pledge mage from Strixhaven, but you're on Avernus now, and this is the Red Belvedere, and this is Tiamat's casino. And you could come into this casino, and you got to have a lot of gold, and you get a few little talents to play with, but you're in a new space. You're in a new space. You're in a new space. And frankly, are you even good enough? Are you good enough to be here? Do you have what it takes to be here? Or are you some plunker, right? Are you some peasant, right? Are you some dirt farmer from some other realm? And you're just a yokel who will spend 5 minutes here, look at the nice things in Tiamat's Red Belvedere, and then go, right? And then, to get into the Dragon's Pride, that's invitation only, right? You need to gamble and win or lose graciously. And a pitmaster may invite you into Dragon's Pride. And when you get there, you need tons. You need hundreds or thousands of soul coins to roll in there. And that is a different level, right? You're an adventurer, great, right? But we're looking for champions next. And then we're looking for legends. It's a different world, right? And this is Dungeons and Dragons in the IRL. What are the currencies, right? So the world is split into 3 different types of people now, right? 3 different types of people, right? People who don't play Dungeons and Dragons, just scrabbling with gold pieces, right? They have no way to get an extra identity. They're gonna die bound to a single identity, and everything they needed to learn, every time they tried to improve, every time they tried to grow, if they even ever thought about transformation, it was done being ground over glass. The most difficult, horrible experiments done with real costs and real people, right? Just regular muggles, right, who don't play Dungeons and Dragons. That's one level of the world. And they pay with gold pieces. They pay with the American dollar because that's the currency they know, right? Let's talk about adventurers, right? So, yeah, and actually, yes. And then the next level is people who actually play Dungeons and Dragons. They are getting extra identities. They are part of the narrative, part of this incredibly powerful narrative, right? And these are the new currencies, right? And actually, I would say this. The narrative is the currency at the second level, right? So, yeah. So, the outside world, to follow the analogy, people who don't play Dungeons and Dragons are like people in Strixhaven. They just use gold. They just use gold pieces. They don't know any better, right? Adventurers arrive at the Red Belvedere, and they can use talents. And if you play Dungeons and Dragons, you are an adventurer, and you are using talents, right? And the currency that you use in IRL is narrative. You're involved in these incredibly important narratives, and you can learn, you can grow, you can improve, and you can transform through those narratives, right? What is the last level? What is the Dragon's Pride in IRL? It's my Dungeons and Dragons. It's Scott Garabay's depiction. I would say that Scott Garabay's unique understanding of Dungeons and Dragons and its execution. Okay? And what is that? That is, and I'm telling you, Dragon's Pride is invitation only, baby. Right? Like, it is a table, right? And we haven't even arrived there yet, right? I have the architecture, like I have the blueprints for this, right? And you do too. You know what it looks like. You could build it, right? It is the table, right? Dungeon Master, Red Dragon Master, Blue Dragon Master, White Dragon Master, Green Dragon Master, Black Dragon Master. Every single person understanding that the Dungeons and Dragons narrative is the most transformative piece of art, piece of literature, piece of philosophy that has ever touched humans' lips or their, word writing pen hand. And that what happens at the Dungeons and Dragons table cracks the world open, right? Doesn't stay. What happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas because what happens in Las Vegas sucks. What happens at the Dungeon Master, Red Dragon Master, White Dragon Master, Green Dragon Master, Black Dragon Master, Blue Dragon Master table, where every single person is there and has abandoned fun and is driving toward learning, growing, improving, transformation. And every session is a social experiment, hyper-personalized, right? And doing something that other humans quite literally cannot even fathom. That's the Dragon's Pride. And the only currency taken there is soul coins. All right? And what are soul coins? They are identities. They are character sheets. They are character sheets that were written as a contract between every Dragon Master, between the Dungeon Master, between the Dragon Master characters, between the Dungeon Master characters, and whispered to the multiverse for power to transform and take it to the next level. Are you working toward your invitation? Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. Nothing more and absolutely not a thing less. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.